All right, Sooner fans, our guest coming on to the show needs rarely, barely, and no introduction at all. Number 50 on the field, hailing from OKC, raised in Norman, Oklahoma. I got Jordan Evans, man. What's up?
Yeah, what's happening, bro? How you doing?
Thank you for coming on to the podcast on the prairie, brother. We appreciate you. We know you got a busy schedule. We know you're living life, having success, and all these different things going on. So we thank you for your time.
Man, I appreciate y'all having me.
For sure, for sure.
For sure, Jordan. Well, we don't waste any time, my brother. First question, just to get us going a little bit. Why Oklahoma? We always ask all the former guys why OU, just so the fans kind of get a little bit of a background. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so my recruiting process was a lot different. I wasn't like a big time recruit. I think OU offered me right before my state championship game, so that was real late. My high school season, and when they offered me, true fact, I did not want to go to OU. I really wanted to go to Virginia Tech, but Virginia Tech was not even looking my way.
Wow.
So my next offer was New Mexico, and I wasn't going to New Mexico over OU. So 2 days after they offered me, I committed. And I think that was more of a pride thing. But deep down, I knew I wanted to go there too because, one, OU produces athletes. You know, they produce guys that go to the league, and that's been my goal since I was a kid. They win. You're going to win while you're at OU. You're going to contend for a national title while you're at OU. It was close to home, so my mom and my sisters were going to be able, and my dad were going to be able to all go to my games. And I was going to be able to at least see my sisters grow and still be part of their middle school and high school experience. And then I think the last reason, too, was I looked at the ability to play. And I was like, man, if I can get on the field at OU, they didn't have like a crazy stacked linebacker room at the time. And I definitely wanted to go there. And then I have my church home, obviously, in Norman, so I knew I could be able to stay strong by faith. So those are my main reasons why I went ahead and stayed at OU.
Believe it or not, when I got offered by OU, I didn't want to go either. You know, I'm from North Carolina, so I thought of Oklahoma as like, what, tornadoes? Huh?
Yeah.
I think it's the same thing here. I think it's the same thing here. I grew up in Texas. I mean, growing up in Texas, I really ain't really know about Oklahoma like that. But when I got offered, obviously, that was probably my biggest offer. So that was like kind of a no-brainer to me. Just like you always offered.
That's how it went with mine, yeah. That's exactly how it went with me.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't even finna. I didn't think OU was gonna offer me.
Yeah, me neither.
I was like, next time they offered me at the Oklahoma State game, Bob Stoops came to me during the warm up. Was like, hey, stick around for off your scholarship. I was like, wait, what? You know?
Yeah, no, it was crazy. Like I know people have heard my story, but just for you, like Link and Gundy text me one day. It was like, hey, like we're interested in you. I'm like, oh, like sent her all my information as soon as that he texted me. And then he's like, oh, no, we're on the way to see you. And I was like, whoa. Like, it just went really fast. It's crazy.
For sure.
You know, I found that's a common theme with a lot of guys, to be honest with you. I remember talking to Caleb. He wasn't too hot on Caleb Kelly. He wasn't too hot on Oklahoma at first. I know Kennedy wasn't. It's like your first thoughts of Oklahoma are, maybe.
It's because it's the state. I'm from here and I love it. I was just trying to get out. What people don't know is I used to hate it because my dad actually went to OU. And so growing up, everyone used to say, oh, he's following his dad's footsteps. Well, that's Scott's boy. I used to kind of hate that.
Yeah.
And, I love my dad. We have a great relationship, and I've always competed with him, but I didn't want to be in nobody's shadow. And I remember in high school, whenever I finally committed, I got an interview, and they asked me, like, hey, how you feel about following your dad's footsteps? I said, I'm not. I'm making my own steps. And I kind of wanted to get out of that, and eventually, obviously, my success at OU did and stuff like that. But I don't know. I was just young and just trying to do my own thing. But obviously, OU offered me was what I wanted, where I wanted to go and where I needed to go.
So last question in regards to OU, when you think of your experience at Oklahoma and your time spent there, what is the first thing that comes to mind? Was it valuable? Was it worth it?
Oh, for sure, man. I mean, I feel like I could write a book on my time at OU, not just from what I learned, what I went through, the memories I made with my teammates, obviously the winning, the stuff that you learn on and off the field. But, I mean, Schmidt workouts, that could be a whole thing on its own. I mean, one of the first things I can think of for sure is just the memories that you have with your teammates. Y'all know how it is in that locker room, man. you literally develop a brother that you never met from a whole different city, and by the end of your 4 years there, you're willing to do a lot of things for him. So I definitely think about the memories I share with a lot of my teammates and guys that I'm still close with to this day.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I know I said last question, but you said Smitty. I got to ask you, what do you think about OU right now in the state that it's been in over the past 2 months? Being a fan, being a former player, what were your thoughts on what was going on in that locker room?
Man, well, first off, obviously the whole thing with the coach leaving, I didn't really have an opinion on it, and I can't answer for another man and what he does. But I thought they handled it correctly with the hires that they hired. And I know that at the end of the day, when it comes to college football, you got to be able to recruit, you got to be able to develop, and you got to want kids to want to play for you. They're going to recruit well. Guys want to play with Venables, and I'm going to tell you right now, Schmidt going to develop them boys. So, and I bet you them boys were sore that first couple of weeks with Schmidt.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Look. I ain't gonna lie. This is how it went. The first day we got in there, right? And we started doing our warm-ups, and folks was like, man, I ain't gonna lie, that warm-up was kind of like a workout. And then we did a little running, but we didn't do too much because it was the first day and we were gonna test that week. The next day, boys walking in there like, man, is y'all hand me sore? Y'all hand me sore? It's crazy. We just did the warm-up.
Bro, the way we broke it down was when we were there, especially when y'all get to the summer, you gotta find a way to get through that warm-up. Mm-hmm. Then you get a slight little break when you run from the warm up to the weight room, and then you got to find whatever you can to finish that conditioning, and then don't mess up on the med ball sit-ups.
Oh yeah. No, we didn't. Hey, look, we didn't already hit that. We already hit that. JR, remember I told you we at one point we hadn't went to 50 yet. We didn't already done hit it, and we didn't already had to start over and did all that before. There was. I'm not gonna lie. This was it Friday? No, yeah, it was Friday. Not gonna lie, I was so surprised because we came in there. My group was the last group. Because I'm not gonna lie, last two groups they came in, they weren't serious. I was like, he's telling us this. Like I thought he was just gonna let us go and then be like, all right, y'all start over. But he told us this, so we got right from the jump. He gave us like a little warning.
No, he's good, man. I really can't wait to come back to Norman just to shake his hand and just say I appreciate you for everything you did. As much as I was a hard head and got into it with him, and I've got kicked out of workouts before and stuff like that. I mean, he develops you and he turns you into a dog, and there's definitely some work. Y'all do the Stairmaster yet?
A lot of people have. I haven't had to do the Stairmaster now.
I was definitely a Stairmaster guy in my freshman year.
No, we've had a lot of guys on the Stairmaster. That boy's been getting some good use.
Yeah, I don't know if I ever told y'all, but I was definitely a Stairmaster guy, especially my freshman year. Jordan, were you ever in that 5:30, 5 6 a.m. group? Man, let me tell you, I think I missed at one point a day back to back. No, I was late on a Monday. Then I was late this is the crazy part. I was late on a Monday. Then Schmidt told me to my face, he said, hey, big dog, it's going to happen again. And I looked at him like he was crazy. I said, no, I learned my lesson. I'm good. How about within the same week, I was late again on Wednesday and Thursday.
I know you're sick.
Bro, sick. Hurt. Oh, my goodness. I don't think Schmidt liked me very much after that. But, man, I was having like 16-hour days, man. And then Ballward would get mad at me because I would fall asleep in meetings. I'm like, bro, I'm tired. I'm trying.
It's funny as that. Oh, go ahead, Jordan.
Oh, no, I was saying, when I was in that 5:30, my freshman year, I had a high ankle sprain, so I had got hurt, and I kind of stopped caring. So one day I was like, man, I'm gonna go in there late. I can't do Stairmaster. He made me do it with my hands, bro.
What? Yo, what?
Yeah. What? I'm in the late. He like Stairmaster. I'm in a boot. I'm like, how? He goes, with your hands. I'm in there pushing it with my hands for 30 minutes, bro.
Whoa. Hey. Yo, I've never
played. I was gonna do it with my hands, bro.
That's so crazy, and like, obviously none of us know that are here as of right now because nobody has we haven't seen that it hasn't got to that point yet. I imagine maybe one day it will, but we're so scared of being late. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like we had a meeting one day before with position meetings, tight ends were meeting. And it was we worked out at 8. We started the meeting like 7:05 or something like that. I'm looking at the time like, I ain't gonna lie, Joe John. We gotta roll. Like I ain't gonna lie. It's like he's like, you still got 20 minutes, big dog. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, coach. We gotta be in there. We gotta be ready 10 minutes before. Like I'm not trying to push no limits over here, coach.
Like I said, I could go on forever about stories that I've seen from others that's happened to me, all with the workouts and Schmitty, man. This stuff is just hilarious, bro. I'm about to hear back from y'all this summer, man.
Yeah, I know. I already know this summer. Everybody's been telling me summer's just, a little different. So,
Man, it's different.
Hey,
Jordan,
it is.
Getting into this past season. So first, you get hurt in October, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Tore ACL?
Yes, sir. Tore ACL and meniscus.
How was that coming along?
It's cool. I mean, I'm in the middle of rehab. I'm about 4 months out. Obviously, I wish I was healthy, but it's one of those 6 to 9 full month recoveries that you got to go through, and just keep my head down. Don't get too high. Don't get too low. I know. Eventually, I'm gonna be cleared, and I'll be ready to go out there and perform. So, I mean, I just kind of is what it is, and it's one of those situations that I'm in right now.
Yeah. Do you have a history of tearing that, or was this a first?
That was my first one.
How did it happen?
Yeah. Green Bay right before the end of the half. Just run down on kickoff. I knew I could beat the dude if I whipped him. Boom, whipped him. Dude hit me in my shoulder. I was playing this way, and it just popped.
Ooh.
So,
well, first,
yeah,
I will say I do wish and pray that you have a healthy recovery, because I know me myself personally, it's good to see a guy that you can connect through on that field and having success. It gives me hope.
Sure. I appreciate you for real.
But moving on to the Super Bowl, right? That's what everybody wants to know about. They'll see Jordan Evans on the Podcast on the Prairie, type it in, and want to know what the Super Bowl was like, man. So at the beginning of the year, was that even a realistic goal for you guys?
Yes and no. We knew in that locker room we had a good team.
Yeah.
We knew in that locker room that we had the pieces there, but we also knew that it's something brand new to us. Like, we haven't been to the playoffs in 30-some years. The past 2 seasons, we've only won 6 games. So we were just like, man, if we can learn to put it together, we knew we could make a run. And so, throughout the season, we're winning, beating teams pretty well, beating some good teams, losing some bad teams, but we're like teetering on the line. And the next thing you know it, whenever I would say, when we got around playoffs and we were just rolling, I'm like, bro, we could really do this. And then by the time, honestly, when we beat KC the first time, even though I wasn't really on the field, but there was just a level of confidence in that locker room that you could feel and you could tell that we all had. Like, we didn't care who they didn't care who they was playing. They didn't care who the coaches was, who their superstars was. We knew who we had. We knew what we could do. We knew we was going to come out with a win. So it wasn't a shock to us, but it still was kind of like, dang, we really in the Super Bowl.
You could definitely feel that, though. Throughout the year, you could definitely feel, especially like you said, that was really the biggest one for me after the first KC win. I was like, yeah, them boys playing with a confidence that's unmatched right now. Like, they got it. When the young buckets got it, they got it. You know what I'm saying? So that's when I really – it was starting to be noticeable. The confidence that y'all playing with was ridiculous.
No, for sure. It was fun to watch, man. It was I hate to say it was fun to watch, but it was fun to watch, man. I'm just hoping that you feel me, we run it back next year.
Now, me and Braden got a taste of what Joey Burr is like live and in person when we got handled against LSU a couple years ago. What are your thoughts on that kid, man? Because it seems like he just keeps on having success. Like, everything he touches goes well.
Yeah, I mean, from my view, because he's on the other side, he's a very chill about his work, really tuned. He's a good dude. I know he has a poise about him that a lot of people respect. And you feel me? He can make the throws, makes the reads. Just a really good all-around player. And he's only on his second year, and you look at some of the things he's done, some numbers he's done, and you only can believe that he has so much potential. But I actually asked Mixon, one time I just asked him, I was like, hey, man, so, like, what's up? Like, what you think of Joe Burrow? Like, when did you know he was, like, that guy? And he was like, honestly, bro, I forgot what game he said it was, but he was just like, there was a game where, he just said it doesn't matter what game, what time in the game, what the situation is. He is the most poised player he's been around. And he said, when you see a guy that has like almost a strike of no fear in him, he said, you can't do nothing but respect and want to play for him. And so, I mean, I guess from y'all looking in, you can see it, but I guess in that huddle is even more strong than what you can see. And so when he said that, obviously, he's in the huddle with him. I was like, that's pretty dope. So,
yeah. How was the Super Bowl in general? I know you weren't playing. You had a sideline first person view perspective. What was that experience like?
It was a great experience. I'm always remember that. I mean, I had a good time. Me and some of the IR guys got to do some extra things and do more things because we didn't have to be always in the practice field and meeting. But just seeing all the stuff and the stuff that comes with the Super Bowl. Obviously the tension, the media, the hype, like going to SoFi Stadium and seeing, you feel me, like our locker rooms with our jersey and Super Bowl patch or the Super Bowl emblem in the middle of the field. And then when the game comes, you just seeing an electrifying crowd with a whole bunch of celebrities at the game. I mean, shoot, I was there during the halftime performance. I was watching it. I was right there on the stands, or on the bench just watching it. So, like, the whole theatrics and the aesthetics of what the Super Bowl brought, it was a great experience. I just wish we would have won. But seeing how my team played and fought and, seeing what those guys did, it was dope. It would just been really sweet if, you feel me, we would have won. It made it all the better.
Yeah. Yeah. Does the Super Bowl have like a bowl game feel comparable to college, or is it something completely different?
Yeah, it kind of does. It kind of does. Because you get there like a week before, you're living in a hotel, you got curfew, you got, then there's some of the, it gave you kind of like a bowl game kind of vibe. Just difference with grown men with a little bit of money in their pockets.
Yeah,
for sure. Because
hey, brother, boy, a little bit.
Look at him, he getting excited. Look at him.
I start smiling. You said a little bit of money in my pocket, boy.
Yeah,
who knows? I can have a ball.
Nice.
Oh, that's what's up, though. That's what's up. Hey, you mentioned talking to Joe about Joe Burrow. What's it like having two former Sooners that you played with on the team, Samaje and Joe? Does that make you feel? Well, I know you guys have been together for a couple of years now, but in the beginning, did that make you guys feel a little bit more comfortable, or was that kind of cool?
Definitely. No, it was great. Honestly, it was everything I needed. I'm pretty sure Joe would say the same on his end. So, because Samaje went with the Redskins and joined us, like, I think in our third year. But so, me and Joe got drafted to the Bengals together. We've been teammates for 8 years now. It was 3 years at OU and now 5 years in the league. And our rookie year, we did everything together. And I always love this saying, when people say I grew up with him, a lot of people transition that as, childhood. No, there's people I grew up with at OU. There's people I grew up in the league. And Joe's one of those guys that I really grew up with because during this transition and during our first 5 years in the league, we did a lot of growing up together. And, he was just a friend that I could always talk to and rely on. And I was always one call away from him as well. And definitely helped out, during my ups and downs in my career, along with his. We was able to vent to each other about the things and give each other proper advice. And then now seeing his success that he's been having has been wonderful to be a part of. So definitely was a beneficial thing. And I'm really happy that God blessed me that way.
Yeah. I hope I get that lucky, man, end up with some people that I'm comfortable with and I don't have to feel like I'm doing it alone. I guess that's what's cool about going to OU. You're naturally going to run into some guys that went there. So
yeah, exactly. There's a good pipeline. I mean, almost every Sunday you can mess around, trade a jersey with somebody, or you see somebody that played with you or was in years before. And then in your situation, I know you're at the Reese's Bowl. You'll probably develop some relationship with guys like that, or the guys that you train with, and see them down the line and stuff like that. The NFL at the end of the day, there's only a small percentage of that make into the NFL, and so it's a really small community. And even though you're competing, there's a level of respect. So when you know people, it's cool. I mean, I enjoy that aspect of it for sure.
For sure. Is there any specific piece of advice that you could give Braden in regards to the NFL? I've heard a lot, but it's always nice to hear what a player has to say.
For sure.
Man, so let me think of some advice, because there's a lot that comes with it. But one of the sayings that I honestly hate the most, but at the same time is really, really true, and I know everybody's heard it, but it's control what you can control. But I think my biggest advice outside of that is it's not easy. So don't get caught up with the fun things that come with what the NFL can bring, because all that stuff can be fun, but as soon as you walked in, you can leave just as fast. The NFL does not stand for the National Football League. It stands for not for long. So what you really want to do is you want to make sure you do everything in college to set yourself up to have these good traits and good habits. So when you transition to the NFL, you know how to study your playbook. You know how to put these distractions aside. You know how to say no, so you can put this playbook, put your body, put your health, and put your practice in first, so you can guarantee you make this team. So you can go out there and make the plays you can make, so you can get that second contract. At the end of the day, everyone's working for a Super Bowl and the contract, because that contract can set you up for generational wealth, where your family's good, your family that you're going to have is good, whatever it is. So, make sure that you understand that you got to put that work in to achieve whatever goal it is. And the stuff that y'all see, like what the media portrays and what TV shows have showed, there's a lot of truth behind it. I mean, the number one distraction, in my opinion, is women. Okay. Number two is keeping up with the Joneses. And number three is your own self thinking you're better than what you are. I feel like those three things that you really got to just eliminate those type of distractions, because, I mean, if I told you got an opportunity to make $40 million, you ain't never got to work again, your family's good, all that stuff, but you got to, for a year, grind like this, you would do it. You know what I'm saying? So just don't let those distractions get in your way, get in your head, and clear and stuff like that. And I can speak from, first experience, not only what's happened to me, but also what I've seen happen to, friends of mine. So just, make sure your priorities are in a line, and anybody can play at this level. I've seen both y'all play in person and obviously on TV. And I'm just going to tell you right now, y'all can play at this level. There should never be any doubt in y'all's mind that y'all can't. But at the same time, you got to work for it.
I've asked a lot of people that question in terms of advice, and I think that's the best answer that we've gotten so far on the podcast, and even me in person, Braden. I don't know about you, but I like that one.
Yeah, that definitely is something that a lot of people need to hear, because, I mean, obviously it sounds like you said, like you've heard it before, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you might even hate the answer, but that's so true. You know what I'm saying? And you just don't think about that when you think of terms of like NFL, things of NFL stuff. Like you might hear something about, just adjusting well, or, what I'm saying? All these other stuff, but that's the basis. If you can't get that, all the other stuff don't matter. So
exactly. 100%, man. 100%. And like I've seen guys literally be on the team for a week and they ain't seen them since. So and like I said, I got a lot of stories with that, but it's just handle yourself correctly, keep God first, and everything's gonna fall in line.
Sure.
Jordan, thank you so much for coming on to the podcast. Before I let you go, first, I want to say I wish that you have a healthy recovery. I know that second contract is coming up. I have one more question, though. On your Twitter, I want to make sure I give this a shout out, because I see a lot of guys that try and make sure they use their platform well, and you're definitely one of them. You have a pinned tweet that is about a collaboration with the Norman Public School System. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, sir. Yeah, so I've always said a lot of the problems with our society is ignorance. And the best way to defeat ignorance is through education. Growing up in Norman, growing up biracial, I dealt with a lot of ignorance towards, racism towards me, getting called names, getting treated a certain way, getting told certain things. And, you growing up in that and seeing the lack of education and people don't understand why you can't say this, or they don't see somebody from a different culture and respect where they come from. It bothered me. And then I think in 2020, all that stuff that was happening during 2020 with, the George Floyd cases and a whole bunch of things just kind of just bothered me to the point where I always had this idea of, the history needs to be taught correctly or something needs to be added. And 2020 made me take action. And I called the Norman Public Schools Administration offices, had some meetings with them, Stephanie Williams, Dr. Nick. They really helped me out with this. And we developed a course called Introduction to Ethnic Studies, where it's provided. I think there's 3 classes at Norman High, 2 classes at Norman North. And it's literally about educating people in different identities from cultures that are not, looking at people that don't look like them and understanding them, just stuff like that. And, I'm just praying that it has a good outcome. I can't control what they moms and dads are teaching them, but, Lord willing, when they come there and they realize these things, they have an opening eye to things and they're more accepting and loving towards people.
Yes, sir.
So,
no, for sure. Love that.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming on to the pod. You may not know, but I look up to you just a little bit, man. Yeah.
Oh, man, I appreciate you. Appreciate it.
No, for sure.
Accredited seasons, man. I know you got that pension locked in by now.
Yeah.
You've had success at OU. You're having success in the league. You're doing work in your community. You're everything that I'm aiming to be here in the future. So I just want to say thank you to you one more time, man. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate you, man.
That means a lot. Appreciate you. Appreciate
Is there anything you want to say to the fans before we let you go?
Keep supporting.
Sure.
Yes, sir. There you go. There you have it, Sooner Nation. I got Jordan Evans, number 50 on the field. We'll let you go, brother. Thank you.
All right, man. Appreciate y'all.